This is Virginia Reloaded, presented by Gun Owners of America, fighting for your rights in the Commonwealth and beyond.
What is up, my friends? My name is John Crump. I'm the Virginia Director of Gun Owners of America. Virginia's, well, I guess UCDO is no compromise too, but Washington's only no compromise gun lobby. I am joined today by my co-host and good friend, Mr. Scott Ayers, better known as Silverback Bananas. And I'm going to bring in our guest right now. But before I do that, remember, go to gunowners.org and you can sign up. And you can even sign up for our mailing list. By the way, Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, John. How about yourself?
I am doing good as well. And as most of you guys know, I am an investigative journalist. So I have a soft spot in my heart for other investigative journalists. By the way, do you like my shirt? If you can't see on the audio podcast, it's my new logo. This is original. Yeah, the guy that did that actually used to draw Spider-Man. So and Flash and Wolverine and X-Men, Captain America. He's a good friend of mine.
Awesome.
Did the World of Warcraft covers. Wow. Did a lot of design like the Mandalorian outfit. So yeah, so he did that. He kind of talented. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, as I was saying, we are joined by someone who's near and dear to my heart because she is an investigative journalist, and her website is all about investigative journalism. And it's Mom at Arms. Her name is Jill McDaniels. And not only that, she is also from Virginia.
Yay, yes. Born and raised.
How are you doing, Jill?
I'm doing good. I hope y'all are.
Yep, doing good.
Cracking up at Silverback Bananas.
Yeah, that's what he goes by. Scott Ayers, but he goes by
That's
Silverback
pretty righteous.
Bananas.
I like that.
Yeah, he is the Manila Gorilla.
I love
the
it.
great ape on the escape. And everything else. Okay, let's go ahead.
Snort.
Yeah, he
popped
runs.
up and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, he runs a channel called Gorillas and Guns.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You know what? I had my freaking earbud in.
My
Samsung earbuds. I'm like, why does it sound so muffled on one ear? All right. Let's go ahead and what we do here, Jill. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this show. Is we bring up a gun of the week all the time, right?
Nice.
So I want to bring up the gun of the week here. I'm just gonna put it up on the other side here so I can get it all ready to go here. All right, here it is, people. And as soon as I click on it, it jumps off.
People.
Hold on.
And as soon as I click on it, it jumps off.
Oh wow.
I don't know. We have some type of echo going on here.
And as soon as I click on it, it
Let me see. Hello.
Yeah, whatever you did, got rid of it.
It's Jill.
Did I do something? Hold on.
No, do you have the YouTube channel open?
No.
All right, it's gone now. For whatever reason, it's gone. Nick, you can fix that in post, I guess. Okay. This was sent to us by Javi Stones. This is his best hunting rifle. It's a Daniel Defense DD5 V4 chambered in 7.62 by 5.1. It's a 30 caliber. And it has a Geisley automatic SDC trigger, a Leopold Mark V HD 3.6 18 by 44 scope with an illuminated reticle. And it is drop dead gorgeous.
That is really fancy.
It is.
Mhm.
I dig it.
Daniel Defense makes some of the best stuff that there is.
I mean,
Yeah, they do make some nice stuff.
They're pricey, but they're
Yeah.
they're really, really good. Everyone has to have an AR-10. You just have to have an AR-10. If you don't have an AR-10, you got to go get one, Scott.
Yeah, that's one of the next on my build list there.
To-do list.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't bought any pre-made or built ARs. I like to put my own together. So they're all a mixed match of different things.
Yeah. I mean, I like the wrapped camouflage on it as well. It looks like it has M-lock handguards.
Mm-hmm.
I like the bronzy. I don't know if it's brown. It looks bronze on my end.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
burnt
chick,
bronze.
So I look for the aesthetics.
Yeah, I do like the burnt bronze on there with the textured grip and everything.
Yes.
The Geisley trigger in that is one of the best triggers on the market, hands down.
Nice.
And the brake, I like the brake. The brake is nice.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the one I got on my my first build that I did.
Yeah, Javi, go ahead and send that to me. I will take good care of it for you, and I'll make sure that nothing happens to it. But yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. I wonder how it looks like a 16-inch barrel to you, or maybe 18.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking 18 probably.
I'm thinking maybe 18. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
It could be deceiving because the handguard is short.
Yeah.
And the picture is just
Yeah. If you want your gun to be featured on Gun of the Day, Gun of the Week, just submit your pictures to gotw@crumpy.com. That's gotw@crumpy.com. We have one more that I want to get to. I really don't have a lot of information on this gun because when I asked, it was sent to me via Instagram. And when I asked for like an explanation of like what the deal is, I was just told, "Oh yeah," so.
Oh yeah, that's what.
Yeah, yeah. So it's but I do want to get to it as well. This is from Trey down at Aries training facility down in Florida.
Trey's a good dude.
Yeah, he is a very good dude. He sends us this little beauty here. Let me see if I can zoom in on it a little bit. And it looks like maybe not. Okay, now everyone knows who. All right, I'll just do it. Whatever. It looks like it's a long range rifle. It's set up. It looks like a bench rest setup.
Yeah.
There. It looks like it has some type of chassis. I'm thinking it's a precision rifle. I'm thinking I'm not sure. Maybe MDT chassis. You have a long range scope. The brake is a pretty substantial great brake, so I'm thinking it's probably a kind of a big caliber.
Yeah, the barrel looks really thick too, so
so I'm thinking it's probably a big caliber, probably at least a 300 Win Mag, if not a 338 Lapua. Not exactly sure, but it is a beautiful gun as well. And once again, if you want your guns featured, you can email me at gotw@crumpy.com. All right. I also want to bring up one more thing before we jump into it. A couple more things, actually. First, I want to thank MK Joe for being my latest new Patreon. Patreon.com/John Crump. Gorillas and Guns has a Patreon as well. Go ahead and give it out now.
Oh, Gorillas and Guns /Patreon. I don't know how that whole thing works.
I mean, Patreon.com/Gorillas and Guns.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Actually, it's just Gorillas Guns.
Gorillas Guns. Okay.
Yeah, but when you find me there, it says Gorillas and Guns.
All right, there you go. And I want to thank MK Joe, for becoming my latest Patreon. Thank you. You have a round of applause coming to you. And I just want to say thank you so much. Let's see if I can get the applause going here.
Give him the golf clap.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, Andrew Faulkner says 338 Lapua equals house note per trigger pull. Yes. Even before, I was paying like $3 around for mine.
Yeah.
Maybe $5 around. So, I mean, that was reasonable back then. Now I can't remember. I haven't even looked, to tell you the truth, to replenish my 338 Lapua. I'm like, I don't want to cry. I can't shoot my 338 Lapua. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of ammo. All right. That, and I also want to point out, I see G Webs is out there. He has a new project I'm going to be writing about that's really freaking cool. Let me see if I can get the Indiegogo, and I will bring it up here. But it is a really, really cool project, and it goes over a little bit of the history of 2A stuff. And he's raising money to actually get it out on the market.
Oh, right on. I actually ran into one of his much older videos the other day. That was pretty cool to watch. It was a little 22 Gatling gun that he was messing with. I think it was from about 6 or 8 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and bring this up, and then we'll get into Jill and stuff like that. But I just want to give him a plug, and I'm going to put where everyone can go and support this project, because this project is really cool. It's the 2A Handbook, and this is the first edition.
Nice.
And it has like 2A stuff. Basically, what I kind of wanted to do. It includes the firearms laws in the United States, owning guns, carrying guns, buying and making guns, gun owners' rights lobby, 2A activists, gun prohibitionists, which we're going to get into tonight, and the firearms industry. And not only that, there's something really cool about this. Let me see if I can pull up the picture. Okay, and I'm going to pull up another picture, and I'll show you what's really cool. And if you're in the lobby here, I'm going to put up where you can go ahead and get this, and if I not get it, well, support it. And guess what? The goddamn bacon says, someone says Gatlin 22 Magnum. I am in. All right. Now this is really cool here. Let me just see it. Let me just go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to bring up a screen here. And if you're listening to this, it's the links will be in the description, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Let me see here. And I can't. What the hell? Oh, Brave tab. All right, here it is. Now check this out. Look right below Big Tony though.
Oh, look!
Fireside chat.
That would be me. I'm in the book. Hello, Dark Lake Dugan. He's probably gonna go live. You can join us if you want, Dark Lake Dugan. You're in Virginia as well. All right. Now, I was bringing up the investigative journalist because, Jill, you do a lot of investigating, and your website does a lot of investigating into gun grabbers. Mm-hmm. How did that come about?
You meet so many people on social media. Just when all of this stuff started to get, like, right before the 2016 elections, presidential election, I mean, things hit ahead, and you saw more propaganda, you saw more advertising for gun control methods than what we have ever seen, especially in my lifetime. And the it's just it just hit a nerve. It struck a nerve. I mean, especially how I grew up. I growing up around guns all my life. I went to school. It's back when I was in high school. We carried rifles and stuff like that. Hunting community. We're farmers and hunters around here in Southern Virginia, and I knew, I was like, something is not hitting right on all this mess. I mean, something is up. And I mean, I've always been very pro 2A, but I've never really been as outspoken until that time frame. And it struck a nerve, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start off by getting my voice out there as not only a woman, but a mother who thinks about, her personal self-defense more so than anything else. And I mean, I was a new mom at that time too. And I was like, I'm going to break this narrative for people who just want to hear me out. It didn't matter if it was like, a million people or whatever, I wanted to reach a handful, 1, 2, 3, a handful. And then at that same time frame, I had kind of gotten into a habit with some groups through Twitter and other social media. Being a new mom, I was just kind of like, I'll hang out on social media for a while and we'll troll some gun grabbers. So that's how it pretty much started. And then we started to really get into digging into their backgrounds, and through already published articles and other publications and stuff like that's online or what we could find, and then we just kind of opened doors for us, and we just kind of got deeper and deeper and deeper. We went down through the gun grabber rabbit hole, so to speak, and built a team up. It just kind of all flowed very well together at that time. I think then we really got big into, especially Moms Demand Action in Everytown and Giffords and March for Our Lives. We focused more so on them to take the narrative back for gun rights rather than push the same old BS that, not necessarily BS, and it's just how I say it nowadays, but to give a different perspective in the gun rights community, I guess you could say. It's kind of weird to explain it because it's not necessarily, it's not the same talking points. What we try to find, it's more so something different. It's something I have a background in a little background, not a huge one, in journalism and some advertising and marketing. And I just kind of noticed that was how things were being turned in our media, was the propaganda of it all with gun control. And I was like, you know what, this is where we need to start hitting. And I think that we kind of started our own little revolution with it. So it's just spurred from there. It's just a lot of stuff. It's an info dump 24/7, especially with my researchers and writers. And my main researcher, who prefers to be anonymous, he really digs into these backgrounds. And I mean, it just finds it. I mean, it's just like a gift. And we just know how to put it together and expose it all for all the world to see. So I found out the other day that we've got people in Germany looking at Mom at Arms, so I'm pretty stoked. So we're worldwide. That's that. That's pretty much, I don't know. I mean, like, it's just, it was one of those things where we knew we had to do something, and that's what we did. And then that opened doors. I ended up joining forces with 1 Million Moms Against Gun Control, who were the original group who went up against Shannon Watts and Moms Demand Action back when they were 1 Million Moms for Gun Control. And now I'm the Virginia State Director for the DC Project, Women for Gun Rights. So that's how that all happened.
So you're pretty deep into this gun rights thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I was like, I growing up, I mean, small town, I never knew that I would get it. This wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
So,
You are in G-Web's book as well.
yes. I thought that was the most fanciest thing ever. I just think it was so adorable. My kid pointed me out. My 4-year-old, he was like, "There's mom." I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's me!" Before I even got the tag, I was like, "Oh." So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. The goddamn bacon says, I've said it before. It helps if we start calling out gun control for the racist and sexist policies that it is.
Very much so.
Maj Toure always says all gun control is racist, and
Yes.
gun control does have all its roots in racism. It all stems back to the Jim Crow laws and stuff like that. We have a question from the audience, and if you have one or more than one, aside from your own course, what are your favorite blogs? Own, of course. I can't see. I forgot my glasses. What is your favorite blog for females who are into 2A?
Oh my gosh. Putting me on the spot. I other there's so many. Stephanie Lord was probably one of my. She's in New Mexico. Yes, New Mexico. She's actually she's actually a delegate now. But she pro gun women. I was a fan of hers before, and then there was, of course, the Well Armed Woman. I would kind of scroll through that stuff, and then Carry Girl Gear, which I'm actually rocking one of their shirts tonight. Carry Girl Gear actually was following way before I even established Mom at Arms, and she is a rape and violence survivor, and she's very pro 2A, of course. I mean, she has her own line of groovy shirts and apparel and some other accessories, and she actually has a blog, and I was reading it, and she, with that, her name B, who runs Carry Girl Gear. I want to say that because I was just following along with a lot of her stuff, I saw her passion in it, and I was like, you know what? There needs to be more women like that. I mean, she's got a huge gathering. I mean, a huge following of women already that are speaking out, and she is a huge voice for that. And I think that it's just women like her. I mean, I was, before coming into Mom at Arms, I wasn't really one of those people. I wasn't like a bandwagoner. I mean, and I say that loosely, but I didn't jump on. I'm not a pro shooter. I'm not I mean, I'm just like any other American mom. I'm constantly doing and whatever I can for my kid, my family, and I work 40 plus hours a week, but I would pick up bits and pieces just from watching, or reading what I saw come across social media or my, news apps and stuff like that. And I would just kind of dig into it. And that's who I would start following some of these people. And I liked Carry Girl Gear's clothes. So I was like, all right, let's get this out. And then that's what kind of led me into seeing her other, the other aspects that she offers. And so, and she's a good leader, a good strong voice for the 2A movement, especially for a woman. So, and then others like Antonia Okafor and geez, I mean, just so many. I mean, there are so many women in this industry that need the platform. I mean, I coming into it more so now and getting my feet wet in it, I guess you could say that I've just met so many more. I couldn't really name any one that's my favorite now. They're all my favorite.
You're muted, John.
was like, what did I do now?
You're muted. There we go.
Yeah, Nick, I just wanted to, when you edit this, the sound cut out. I was having issues with my board, so I had to reboot my board. So there's gonna be a little. When I send you the audio files, there's gonna be a little. Yeah. Sorry, some back behind the scenes up there. Okay, Nick is the producer of the show. Jill, Antonia Oakenfor is the director of outreach for GOA. And gun owners is big into women's rights to shoot because we're going to do rights for everyone to be able to carry a gun, whether you're a man, woman, if you're whatever. So yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That you named her. Because
I love her. She's amazing. I mean, I actually like. I mean, I think I started following her mostly like when she was running. It just inspired me a lot because when she was talking about being a beauty pageant contestant back when she was doing all that, like I forget what she was, Miss Texas or something like she was doing Mrs. Texas or something. It was something like some kind of beauty pageant or something like that. I thought that was so like interesting. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, wow, she's like this warrior mom, warrior woman back then, but now she's a mom, and I'm like, yay, So, I mean, she's just amazing to me. She does so much. And she's a really big voice for women's gun rights for women. And I dig her. I think she's cool.
Yeah, well, you know who's not for women's rights, even though he says he is, and that is the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. But we're not going to get into the reasons why. But he is also a gun grabber. And now shifting a little bit to Virginia.
Virginia, yay!
Yeah, that's your home state, and I'm from Virginia too. You're from Southern Virginia, and I'm from Northern Virginia. Which
and I'm
is
in
basic,
Central Virginia.
and you're in Central Virginia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And all three parts of the state have their own identities.
Yeah.
Southern Virginia is God's country. Good people, nice people. That's the South there, right? Very, very pro-gun. Then you get into Scott's area, which is still pro-gun, but it's starting to lean a little bit.
Yeah, it just depends which city or county you're in. Yep.
Yeah. Then once you get to my area in Virginia,
it's like we avoid that.
You're in the stranglehold there.
Yeah. Sorry, bud.
I'm in occupied territory.
Yeah.
He's behind enemy lines fighting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
But I am not going. It looks like Joe might have froze up there a little bit. Oh, there you are. I'm not going to give up. What do you see as the biggest hurdle to gun rights in the Commonwealth right now?
Consistency in holding our elected accountable. I think, especially in my area, and that's a downfall in my area. And even though we're very pro-gun, I mean, I tell people all the time we're like mini Texas around here. But I really think it's when you get so comfortable in a situation, you become complacent, and being consistent on holding our our elected representatives accountable can kind of fall by the wayside. And we just don't think it's like how we, back during the VCDL lobby day, the good points that GOA and the VCDL brought up, they woke up a sleeping giant. And my whole thing is, why were we asleep anyway? So it's kind of like, if we're putting these people, because if these elected officials are going to be making promises, it's up to us as the people to hold them accountable for it 24/7.
Yeah,
they can't slip.
Working for us anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And just because, we get the candidate of choice in office that we wanted before, during an election, if we can't let them slide. I'm sorry, just because we like them or we have a soft spot for them, we have to be very direct and continuously saying, hey, look, we're hearing talks about gun control coming through Virginia. I mean, like, hey man, this is not why I voted for you. What are you going to do? Are you going to put your foot down? And there have been so many times where I've reached out to, even in my own locality, where I've been like, hey, what's going on? We've got to do something. I want to know what you, Mr. or Mrs. elected official, what are you going to do for this? Because this is not why, this isn't going to go over too well. And I've gotten the sympathy, almost condescending emails back. Like, oh, we know, what are we going to do though? And he's like, well, hey, you should have been doing something in the first place. I mean, that's why you got the job. So it really is, what I see, in my opinion, is the biggest issue in Virginia, especially here in Southern Virginia and already pro-gun areas, is the complacency. And we need to be very consistent, because what y'all feel in Northern Virginia, it filters down to us. I mean, I'm down here in Southern Virginia, but I have an independent city right in the middle they kind of teeter on they're kind of like Central Virginia, I mean, it's just, I would hate for it to become a domino effect back through the state. I mean, we've already proven that, what is it, like almost 98% of the state is pro-gun. I mean, like, we have the 2A sanctuary status and all that good stuff, but
yeah, it's like 96%.
Yeah, what's going to happen if we don't keep remembering? We have to keep remembering that we have to make it a consistent thing. We have to bring it up at least once or twice a week, and we have to make it. I mean, I'm not saying like call your legislators every day, but at least make a habit of doing it at least once a month, saying, hey, still no gun control, say no to it. That's all we got to do.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's
go
okay.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I said, talking about women in the Second Amendment, the lieutenant governor candidate is Winsome Sears. Do you know anything about her?
I'm just now finding out, like, she was a surprise to me. Everything was all the commotion was around who the GOP was going to pick for governor, that I even failed, I'll have to admit that, at really looking into the lieutenant governor. I was paying more attention to who was running on the left side. But when Winsome Sears came up and I saw her, it was like a Facebook post not too long ago where she was calling out some candidate, and I forget the name, but she was like, you're not telling me what to do. You're not telling me that you're going to come and take my guns. So I like that. I mean, that is what we need to be. Women in the state of Virginia need to be. Oh, yay.
Thank you. A new channel member. The goddamn bacon. Awesome. Thank you. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
That was funny.
No, I really like Winsome Sears.
I do too. I'm like her.
She is when she took her official campaign picture with an AR.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, I saw that and I have chills now talking. I mean, just thinking about it. I mean,
people are like, you can't do that. She was like,
yes, you can.
She's like, yeah, I can. She's like, no, you can't. She's like, I just did it.
That's right. That to me is what I would love to see more of in the state of Virginia, especially with women. We can be women I love like Virginia women, we are a class of our own, I guess you could say. And I'll say that openly as being a born and raised one. But I really want to see more of that. I just love the fact, I mean, she's what, Jamaican, Jamaican American, and she is just fierce and
Marine.
A Marine, I was about to say, and she is just so fierce and just domineering. And I was just thinking to myself, before I even knew anything, I was like, that is a Virginia woman right there. That is awesome. And then I found out their background, she's Jamaican. I was like, oh snap, she fits right on in, so I love it. And I want to see more women. I want to see more Virginians, especially pro-gun Virginia. I mean, we don't have to go in like marching parades and stuff like that. But just be proud of that, of that aspect. I don't care what your background is, just if you are pro for money. I just saw money pop up.
No, we're hear that in a second. Actually, Scott, go ahead and give us the money.
All right. Well, this is typically reserved for Hank's show, but I'll do it now. Money.
There you go.
Nice. That's what gun control people are all for, though.
Oh yeah. You do a lot of following the money.
Lots.
To expose.
Yeah.
Talk about that for a minute.
The fun part, oh gosh. I mean, everybody knows who Michael Bloomberg is. I mean, he's one of the 11th or 13th richest man in the world. And he backs almost every single gun grabbing politician that you can possibly name. Bloomberg has his foot in it. And the way every town and Moms Demand Action, how they keep above and how they keep all of their finance, they funnel money within themselves. And of course they take in outside donations, and in fundraising and stuff like that, but they continuously funnel money back and forth. And that's how yeah. And what they do is they put this money into strongholds for certain politicians. And if you go back in Joe Biden's history, Joe Biden was very pro-gun, even as a Democratic, leader or senator at the time. But as soon as, you can just watch his timeline, and the more that you saw Bloomberg kind of like put money into Biden, the more very outspoken he became against guns, against, just like come out with just like random stuff, random crazy talking points about guns. It's because he that to me immediately says, I forget who posted. I think it was Rebecca Schmoy with 1 Million Moms Against Gun Control, and she's also the Kansas director for the DC project. She posted something recently, if you talk to a gun grabber about gun laws, there's a good chance they have no earthly idea what they're talking about. And almost over and over, they don't. It's because they're getting fed certain propaganda tactics. And what it is, scripts from propaganda. And what it is, it's these scripts that people like Bloomberg, who has tons and tons of money. I really hate to say it, but George Soros, the Clintons and stuff like that. But they all have their foot in it. They have the money, they have the financial foundation, and they know how to spend it and weasel it in to the point where it all becomes a political process. And that's how they get out our rights. That's how it's money. It's all a money scheme. It's kind of like one of those pyramid schemes that, some of us get wrapped up into, like, buy this, we'll guarantee this. So it's just nuts.
Guy. I had to beat myself there. Sorry. That's what I think of George Soros and Bloomberg.
I hate to bring up his name. I really do. A lot of people, there are a lot of conspiracy theories, actual conspiracy theories around the dude. It is what it is. But when it comes down to gun control and everything, he's got his money in it just as much as Bloomberg or I forgot that other guy, his name, so many names in my head right now, but Giffords and all of them. Our Constitution, our civil rights were never supposed to be politicized. It was supposed to be the opposite. Our civil rights were supposed to keep politicians at bay. And now they are making money off of, especially gun control. Gun gun control proponents. They're making money off of our civil rights. So
Yeah, they
Power.
definitely are. One thing you brought up is Giffords, and there's a Giffords employee that is currently
that dude is
trying to become the head of the ATF, and that would be David Chipman, which is he's a bad dude.
he's a nutcase. That's a
Well,
nutcase. That's
in 2018, he said that detachable magazines should be considered machine guns
how.
because they speed up the rate of fire, and if them bump stocks can be banned as machine guns because they speed up the rate of fire, then detachable magazines can be machine guns.
Dude is nuts. He's nuts. He couldn't even give like a full like freaking answer to what he could not even personally define assault weapon. He could not personally. It didn't matter like through Giffords, through his ATF year, or whatever he wanted to do, like his policies through the ATF and Giffords. He personally could not define what an assault weapon was. Nobody can. I mean, like,
did you see when they asked him what type of guns he owns, and he's like, "Well, that's a personal question," and I'm like, "Well, that's why I don't want you to know what I have either."
Yep.
Is it a 50 cal?
Oh yeah, 50 cal to shoot down helicopters.
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
Is it a helicopter? You never know.
Yeah, when he made up that crap.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, like, the dude is nuts. I mean, it kind of reminded me of the well, I forget his name too. The meme that went around all the time during like the hearings for Trump. That really, really crazy looking FBI guy that had the affair. That just
Peter
watching
Strzok?
it. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Just watching Chipman on the stand and just comparing the two is just kind of like it was almost. It was the same but different. I don't know. It just gave me a creepy vibe, but both of them are not cases.
Yeah, David Chipman claimed that 2 helicopters were shot down by Branch Davidians with 50 cals, which was not true at all.
Yeah, I mean that's somebody that they want to put in an executive position.
Well, see, here's the thing. He's everything they want. He's completely anti-gun, and he's willing to kill people to confiscate their guns.
Yeah. And you gotta think about it. Like, it's just thinking about that in just modern society, like everyday society. I mean, just thinking about like how, I mean, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I have noticed more so now, more media reports. I mean, I come from my family, a law enforcement background in my family, and I don't remember the media, especially prior to Biden as president. I don't remember anything like a ton of like articles about shootings. But now it's almost like every notification that I get, it's one. And it's just like it to me. I was like, all right, it's a thing. It's keeping it repetitive in someone's mind all the time, especially somebody that's willing to look at social media and the news and all that good stuff and their notifications to see all like shootings and stuff like that. And I just think it's so odd during this time, and it might be coming up with my own conspiracy here, but especially now with Chipman being center focus for the ATF. It's just me piecing stuff together. I have no proof, but I'm just saying it's just where I'm coming from. It's just a complete, it's bogus to me that here we are, especially Virginia. I mean, we were one of the top 20 safest states in the nation at one point. I mean, prior to huge gun control bills and stuff like that, and now they think that gun control. I mean, like, why? Why? It's because people like Bloomberg and stuff like that, they want some sort of power, and that's what they're doing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was making like 6 figures a month for Giffords,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Yeah.
Because probably his salary was basically all of GOA's top executive salaries combined.
Yeah. I mean, just think about that. What with the Coalition Against Gun Violence with Lori Haas here in Virginia, she's like the only paid lobbyist through them. I don't know if she's just like right here in Virginia, but same thing. And they're getting money from these same companies such as Giffords and organizations.
Yeah, well, Giffords is paying a lot into Lori Haas's organization here, and so is Everytown.
Mm-hmm. She is like Virginia's Shannon Watts. So if you're in Virginia, Lori Haas is Virginia's Shannon Watts.
I don't know. For some reason, she doesn't like me.
I haven't had a date with Lori yet. Shannon yet.
Yeah, Shannon, we're both blocked by Shannon Watts, I believe.
Yeah.
She blocked me preemptively.
She, like, before it was on Twitter, she had gone on ahead and she blocked me. And of course, when Mom at Arms came to be, she blocked it on Twitter. But Facebook, I'm not allowed to comment on Mom's Demand Action stuff. Instagram, I think she blocked me personally, and I actually have a private personal account. And then Mom at Arms, of course, I keep open for the public. And that was Mom's Demand has not blocked us yet on Instagram. So, but
I'm blocked. They all blocked me like preemptively.
Well, they should. And honestly, with right now with how things are going, and like my gut is telling me that you all in the GOA are probably going to start feeling the Moms Demand Action heat. Once they get some more wins with the NRA. So that's just me. They're going to go after all of us. I mean, that's how it is. If they get any further than what they have in with Biden and his executive orders and actions and whatnots, they're going to go hardcore at every large organization, gun rights organization.
Yeah.
I really think GOA is on there. So I've seen stuff like
They've already started trying to target us.
Yeah. Y'all are like no nonsense. I mean, that's why I'm very appreciative of the GOA and especially the VCA, the VCDL here in Virginia. But
they're like, GOA believes that everyone should be able to own a machine gun without going through a background check. And we're like, yeah, so.
I mean, exactly. So it's kind of like, I mean, how many Americans can afford a machine gun, first of all? I mean, that's what I want to know. I mean, like, they're not really thinking. It's really funny to me that they really do not rationalize any way. They don't rationalize things very well. I mean, they're thinking, it's just getting blocked. Sorry, I saw that pop up, so I stopped off after.
Yeah.
Yeah, being blocked's fun. And for a while there, before Mom at Arms came, like my little team of minions, we would always create backup accounts and stuff like that and see if we could troll even harder. And it was just so much. I mean, that was back in the day, But yeah, the money funneling is where people need to kind of watch. I look for, when I'm looking at a candidate for anything, I look at how they can fund themselves before I look into who's actually funding them more from from backstage. But then when you start to look into the backstage funders of these politicians, these gun grabbing politicians, you'll find they are so dirty. They have an agenda. Like they are puppets. They really are. And Money and Bloomberg and people like Giffords and folks like that are the string pullers. So.
Yep, that is definitely true. They are definitely the string pullers. They have all these like little organizations that are under them, all these front organizations. But if you trace the money, which you do, it always goes back to Everytown.
Yeah. It's just like
Or Giffords or Brady. Those are the three big ones. Every time Giffords or Brady. Every other anti-gun organization, anti-rights organization, anti-2A organization traces back to one of those three.
Well, I mean, you look at okay, well, the Brady campaign, that was huge back during the Clinton era when Bill Clinton was in office, and when Hillary was secretly in office, but Bill was the front man. That you look into that, and you see, if you go, and I actually wrote about this, it's been years ago, but you look into how the gun control organizations were built up back then. You have Brady, and then you had their front group, which was a Million Mile March, where Donna Dees Tomasis was huge gun control, gun grabbing mama. She came about, and she's had so many connections in the PR and marketing world and media and everything like that. And she just kind of branched out. And then all of a sudden, once Clinton was done and over with, everything went to the sideline. I mean, you didn't hear a lot about gun control then. And then you had 2012, 2013, you had Shannon Watts come about. Shannon Watts, gun grabbing mama, background in media and PR and marketing and stuff like that. I mean, it's just like the article I wrote is called Copycats, and that's exactly what it is. It's a copycat thing. And you look into Lori Haas, it's the same thing. They all have these backgrounds that they're connected, and they all have, I mean, you're not going to see that in a mom like me, like on the opposition. I'm just gonna be straightforward with you. I'm like, you're not gonna take my guns. I'm sorry. I mean, I have no connections. I just want you to leave me the hell alone. So,
yeah. Question for you from the audience: how do you see the best way to defeat Tire Out win against Mom's Demand campaigns? If you had your way to play general and maneuver all the 2A troops today, how would you checkmate Shannon?
I would make it not make it, but if I were the general, I would have all of my mamas, my Pro 2A mamas, just freely carrying, just open carry, exercising their constitutional right to carry and being proud about it, just being supportive of one another. I mean, go in groups, just represent. I mean, if you are, the laws that are on the book, and we can preach all day long about, there's a difference between a lawful gun owner and a responsible gun owner. And a responsible gun owner to me is someone who actually knows the bigger law of everything. Like, murder is bad. Stealing is bad. You shouldn't hurt other people. Some sort of humanitarian effort. But then when you think of lawful gun owner, it's somebody who's going to follow the laws anyway. So that's where the government gets ahead with us. And as mamas and women, we tend to take backstage to a lot of that. And because we don't want to be it's not a normalcy to see like someone like me with a toddler on in hand and like an AR-15 walking around. It's just not normal. I mean, if you see a guy doing it nowadays, people would go they'd go bananas. But I mean,
silverback bananas.
Yeah, they would go silverback bananas.
We need to make that
it's
normal.
Just like, but you would expect it more for a man to be more open about guns than you would a woman. It's almost like football, like when you see, a chick, can do a nice pass, you're like, oh, she's a unicorn, like any woman that understands some rough sports that's mostly male dominated, or the stereotype is you know, it's a stereotype. Let's put it that way. Short answer. It's a stereotype. I think that we women, we pro-gun women, need to break that stereotype and actually start stepping up and proving ourselves more. Because Shannon Watts and all of these people, they own the media. That's how they get to these little, you know, meek, I call them meek women in their homes, and that's how they manipulate the feelings and everything like that, and they get them on board with Moms Demand Action, and they're out to get our guns while they say, well, I'm a gun owner, you know, I'm a gun owner, but I believe in universal background checks. Well, then you're not, you know, you really don't care whether or not your gun's taken or not. I mean, by the government, you could care less. Yeah. They've been manipulated into thinking this way, and I think that women like myself, and you know, who are very pro-gun, we need to kind of stand up a little bit more. We need to be louder, and that's what I believe needs to happen. So.
Yeah, they say they're a gun owner, but they're the kind of gun owner that owns one gun and they leave it at home.
Yeah. They've never been, and God forbid that they ever are, but they've never. I actually sat in. She's running for lieutenant governor herself, Hialeah here in Virginia. I sat in on their. I'm saying her name wrong, and I do apologize for that. I hate saying people, but I'm in Southern Virginia. We mess up every name. But I sat in with one of her Zooms or something like that during the lockdowns, where she wanted to talk to gun violence survivors to get a handle on the gun control or the gun violence issue in Virginia. And I remember just asking these all Moms Demand. I think it was like myself and 2 or 3 other VCDL members, and we were talking, and we were either getting booted out just because we were asking questions, or we were like completely trash talked. And it was none of the Moms Demand Action speakers on that Zoom thing. None of them had a background. They're like, yeah, I'm a gun owner, but none of them had ever been in a defensive, you know, a defensive situation where they had to defend their lives with it. They're like, you know, exactly what Silverback said. We leave them at home where they're locked up unless we need them. You know, like, what if you need them while you're out and about at your yoga meet or something, whatever you do, you know, like when you're going to get coffee. If most of these shootings are happening in public, that we know about, that the media is portraying to us, why are you leaving your firearm at home?
Right. And being a woman, you know, there are so many more reasons they should be carrying with them at all times, not just because of a possible shooting could happen.
That's exactly right.
There's so many more criminals out there willing to take advantage of women, because women are, you know, biologically speaking, are usually weaker than men. So, you know, these criminals aren't. That's their target, the weaker of the people, you know.
Yes.
So.
And that's what's scary to me, because within the DC project, as well as within 1 Million Moms Against Gun Control, there are so many women that have been in those situations, such as rape survivors, but, you know, domestic violence survivors. One of the co-board members for me, her sister, she just got married, but Melissa Schuster, she was stabbed. She's in Illinois, but still, this happens in Virginia. She was brutally stabbed and raped, and had her eye socket broken and everything else in her own home. Dude busted through her door and used a knife. I mean, stabbed her 17 times, and this woman lived to tell the story. I mean, it's just, it's. You know, it's mind-boggling to me that, I mean, okay, she was in her own home. She could have had a gun in her home, but it was probably upstairs, locked away in a safe, you know, like, but this dude is in her living room, you know, stabbing her and raping her and beating her to death. And people don't get that. People don't get that this is stuff that happens. And it's not just out in public. It happens in our own homes, and we need to be prepared I mean, God forbid, but we need to be prepared.
Yeah, this is why I always say, like, every time they come up with these laws that they want to pass about all your guns need to be locked up in a safe. Well, I'm like, well, the only thing that keeps safe is the criminal.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there wrestling, trying to get into it, and he's already done what he wants to do by the time you even come close.
It's not like, I mean, I can't do that. And gun, come here. I mean, they want to blame these inanimate objects. They want to blame these inanimate objects for all the crimes, but then they expect for you to lock them up so they don't get away. But when you need them, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It was like, well, okay, well, if they commit all these crimes, then they should just magically, just come when I call them. That's not going to happen. I mean, they can't break themselves out of safes, but I mean, that can go two ways, but I can understand. I mean, like, I'm not going to sit there. I mean, yeah, I have a safe. I mean, that's fine. But I also have I have a carry. So I'm not, I mean, it's got enough rounds in it until I can get to my safe. So people, I mean, it's just, there's no logic. There's no rationalization with these folks. I mean, it's really sad. The more I get into this, the more I see some sort of derangement. It's really bad.
Yeah, it definitely is. All right. Well, I think that about does it for tonight. I'm going to tell everyone where they need to go because everyone needs to go to wrong button.
Go to Gun Owners of America too.
Yeah, everyone needs to go to Gun Owners of America, gunowners.org and sign up for a membership. If you're not a member, we will fight for your rights. I am the Virginia State Director, and you can find me on the channel where you're watching at. If you're watching at John Crump Live, I have a YouTube channel, John Crump News, where I cover everything. My personal website is crumpy.com. Wolverine only gets paid for super chats, Flying Rich. Let me kick it over to Scott. Scott, Silverback Bananas. Tell me where they can find you.
You can find me here on YouTube, Gorillas and Guns. You can find me on Facebook, Gorillas and Guns group on Facebook, Gun Streamer, and Patreon, and at BlackSwanTactical.com.
Yeah, a lot of people at BlackSwanTactical.com. I wonder who owns that crappy website.
Just some guy I know.
Yeah, I was fulfilling orders as we were on the show on my other screen. I got to hit a button to say fulfill. And then it goes and they automatically ship it out from North Carolina.
Nice.
That's where everything gets shipped from, North Carolina. Besides patches, those come from Virginia. All right, Jill, go ahead.
You can find us on pretty much, I mean, unless we've been suspended or shadow banned or whatever, on pretty much every social media outlet, Instagram, Facebook, we're on Twitter. I think we're on MeWe. Yeah, we're still on MeWe. And then, of course, momatarms.com. And you can also, if you're in Virginia, look into joining the DC Project if you're a Pro 2A lady, and by going to dcproject.info, and you will get spoken to by me.
Yeah, the DC Project is an awesome project. It's an awesome organization. It's ran by the person who looked at Congress in the face and said, I will not comply.
That's my homegirl, Damulur. She is an inspiration. I mean, she is just like an everyday inspiration. People need to follow her as well. Damulur, Die3 Gun, DI 3 Gun. So,
yeah, she is awesome. She is awesome. It's a great organization. I'm glad that you're involved in it. Some of your journalism and your following the money is spot on, and I think we need to have more investigative journalists in the 2A space.
yes.
So I'm not trying to push out my competition. I'm trying to get competition to come in.
Yes. We and that's how we stay accountable That's how, I mean, like, when, something that we publish here, for Mom at Arms, we look in, what John, puts out there, what Lee with the gun writer, gun writer, and, all these other, these independent guerrilla journalists, for the Pro 2A world. When we see these things, we're like, okay, this is feedback for us. This is holding us accountable. We have to. It's like a healthy challenge, like a friendly competition. So it's good stuff. It keeps us all accountable. It keeps us out there giving the truth, the actual truth. Being honest. It's good stuff.
And thank you for watching.
This has been Virginia Reloaded, a Gun Owners of America podcast. Tune in weekly for the latest gun news from the Commonwealth and beyond. Check out Gun Owners of America at gunowners.org.
All right. Okay, we are out. We're not offline. Liberty not licensed. Where did you send it? And you might have been featured on tonight's show if you sent in the picture of the Daniel Defense rifle. If not, I didn't receive anything else. All right. With that said, we're out.